do a hip switch to get into the mount. Here. Just tactics from here if he tries to extend his legs, and this gives me an opportunity to step into the mount with the arm isolated. Alright, so 3, 2, 1. Number one, we'll talk about just getting into the position, some like say tactics, and then we'll go over the technical. So first thing I want is, this is a common position in Jiu-Jitsu where your partner's going to be looking to get like butterfly guard and go for like sweeps and single leg X and everything else. So first thing I want to do is match him for eye level. I want to pack my neck, so that's really important. I want to like shrug my shoulders and my traps, because if I just shoot here, number one, I could injure my neck, and then number two, my neck is exposed for like different types of guillotines and that. So elbows nice and tight, pack your neck, and I put my forehead into the center of my training partner's chest. We flatten them out, I slide my left knee up, my right knee up. So now we're into the position. We can go with different types of grips, as in like locking our hands or unlocked hands. The two grips that I'm going to work with today is either palms, like say facing towards the side, or I can get my palms behind his back and kind of fingertips pointing in towards each other. So if you sit up, so either here underneath his back, or I can just go on the side. You can also do locked hands either, so it's really preference. So I want to keep my elbows nice and tight to my knees, because this locks everything around his hips, so it controls him. So just tactics from here. If Roland tries to move away, you can see there's disconnection between my elbow and my knee, so what I'll do is I'll walk my left knee up to my left elbow, and then I'll do the same on my right side here. Alright, so that stops him from moving away. So if you try to move, Roland, so we just walk left knee up, right knee up. The last thing we want to talk about here is if Ronan tries to sit into me, so he tries to sit up on his side, I just use the side of my head to flatten him out. If he sits up on the opposite side, I use the opposite side of my head to flatten him out. When we're in this position, what we're looking to do is, one, cook him and fatigue him, and then number two, hopefully get him to overcommit on different types of things, like maybe he's getting frustrated, he tries to move away a little bit first, I'm shutting him down, he tries to extend his legs, and this gives me an opportunity to go into passing. So I'll just do the drill one more time before we go over the full technique. Match him for eye level, elbows in nice and tight, pack your neck, head goes in the center of the chest, hands go either behind the back or on the sides here, it's up to you. Walk my left knee up to my right knee. If Ronan walks away, he creates space, I take the space back. If he sits into me, I use the side of my head to flatten him out. If he sits up on the opposite side, I use the opposite side of my head to flatten him out. So we talked about how to get into the position, how to control in the position, and then like a little bit of tactics, trying to wear our partner out and then trying to get them to overcommit and that type of stuff. So we level change, bring the elbows nice and tight to my knees. What I want to do now is I want to go to a position that we call 2 knees on 1 shin. So I step on my right leg, I drag my left knee over towards my right foot. This brings Ronan's right foot over to my right foot, here. And I step my right leg back, here. We go to 2 knees on 1 shin. So if we go with like open body lock passing, it allows us to use our hands. And that's what we're going to talk about in a second, right? So I stand on my left leg and I start stepping my left leg past Ronan's knee. All right, if I can't get past his knee, what I'm going to do is retract my elbow, push his knee down and step over. And then once we come into this position, we can do a hip switch and then block our partner's hips and so on, which we'll go in more details in a minute, right? So go one more time. We flatten him out. Small step on the right leg, turning my knee inwards. Slide your left knee over towards your right foot. That drags his right foot through the center line. Kick our right leg back. We go 2 knees on 1 shin, widen our base. I stand on my left leg and I try step around until I beat the knee. If I can't beat the knee, what I'll do is I'll retract my elbow, push his knee to the floor, and then I'll step over the knee. Alright, so the details to get into side control, I'm going to look to my right, and then I'm going to get my hips to face the same side my head's facing. So we hip switch, and then we end with our knee behind our training partner's foot, and this makes it very hard for him now to go into get his guard back and follow up attacks. Alright, so do it one more time a little bit faster. Again. So we step, drag the knee across, straighten our leg, 2 knees on 1 shin, widen our base. Stand. If we can beat the knee, great. If not, we'll use our hands to wedge the knee to the floor, beat the knee, look to the opposite side, hip switch, and then put your right knee behind your training partner's foot, and then that will stop him from getting his guard back. So. call them follow-up attacks like guillotines and so on. Keep your head in the center. I flatten them out, bring my knees to my elbows. I'm taking a small step on my right leg and I'm turning my knee inwards to make it hard for him to use that hook. I drag my left knee across, extend my legs. You can see my knees are close together. So what I do is I go wide base here and I keep my head nice and tight. I step up on the leg. So what you don't want to do is, I don't want to just like push the knee down like this, because this gives them a chance to maybe set up triangles, but even easier, punch an underhook here and then start going to follow-up attacks and sweeps and everything else. So instead of me pushing down like this with my elbow flared, I'm going to tuck my elbow and I'm going to use like a false grip here. So now if he tries to come up on his side or go into follow-up attacks, I'll just keep him flat. Alright, and then number one, it stops him getting underhooks, and then number two, allows me to pin his knee to the floor. So I beat his knee, we hip switch, knee goes behind the tailbone or behind his butt, keep my elbow nice and tight, and I go near side underhook here. So if Roland tries to turn into me, this should be very hard. The near side underhook stops him from coming up on his elbow, and then obviously build into hand posts and getting underhooks himself and so on. So I keep this near side underhook, I take my knees off the mat and I crash my hips into Roland's hips. Knee goes behind the knee, take a big step over, cross face underhook, and then we do a hip switch to get into the mount. Here, and then we land in the mount with the arm isolated, we can start attacking from there. So let's do it from a different angle. So again, here, hip switch, in, keep your tight waist grip on the far side, and I just leave my hand here for a near side underhook. And all I can do is take my knees off the floor, I keep my hip connected to Ronan's like hamstring or behind his knees. My knee goes behind his butt, take a big step, take out the tight waist grip, get a cross face and underhook, and then I hip switch for one last time to step into the mount with the arm isolated. Alright, so that's our last technique. So 3, 2, 1.